Hello folks, welcome back to another Wise Game video. In today's video, we're getting ready for the release of Shadowlands. That's right, Shadowlands hits on the date that I'm making today's video, which is November 23rd, 2020. Now this is not going to be a fancy video, it's not going to be filled up with detail, but I am going to show you guys a great wowhead page that you can use when you're playing Shadowlands. So I will have the link in the description panel of today's video of that information. Now this page is very easy to understand. It's got all the details of exactly which covenant you should pick for your class and your spec, and also conduits and much more. So with no further ado, let's give a look at wowhead. So we can see right here at the time that I'm working on this video, on the WoW page, we see that there's 5 hours left, 52 minutes, and 55 seconds. Okay, so here we are now at the wowhead page, and this page is fantastic. I highly recommend to bookmark this page. It's going to let you know everything that you need to know when it comes to your class covenants, conduits, so on and so forth. So we're going to give it a look. So we're going to see that first of all, it's been upgraded or updated, I should say, 5 hours ago and 58 minutes. So this information is very, very fresh. I definitely would not recommend any older information that was posted 6 months ago, because we know through the course of them working on beta and all that, a lot of these implements have changed. So now, as we look at the page, it's going to give you a breakdown of exactly how the covenants work, and the covenants is going to be your main go-to in Shadowlands for your classes. It's going to give you particular traits. It's going to give you skills that you can use outside of your normal class traits. And then it's going to let you know the best covenant for each class in Shadowlands. Now we could see down here they got the list of all the different classes and specs, and we could see that this has grown over the years. At one time there was only a handful of different classes, but now we could see that there's a lot more. And then as we scroll down more on this page, we're going to see what the best soul binds is, covenant ability usage for each covenant. So there's 4 covenants in Shadowlands. And this one's going to give you the breakdown of each one. Like this one's for the Necrolords. This one's for Night Fae. And Vanitar, or however you pronounce that. And the very top one is another one that I can't pronounce, which is Chiron. I think that's how you pronounce that one, Chiron. So this is going to give you the breakdown, but I think the easiest way to use this tool right here is to actually go back up here and click on the class and the spec that you're going to play. So let's see, let's pick on Survival Hunter. Let's pick that. And then we're going to scroll down a little more. It's going to give you more information. And this is the index right here for Survival Hunters. So clicking on each one of these right here is going to let you know that information, rotation, abilities, things along that nature, stats, consumables that you can use, gear, all that information. It's a great, great page. Now for covenants, we want to pick on this. And then we're going to scroll down a little bit more, and it's going to give you more information. But what I really like is right down here on each class there's a chart. And it's going to let you know what they recommend is the best for your class and spec. So for Survival Hunters, they recommend Chiron, which is good and good for raids and Mythic Plus. We see that Necrolord is underwhelming, so that's not so good. And we could see that Night Fae is good, and then Vanitar, or however you pronounce this one, is also underwhelming for both raids and mythics. So you want to avoid these two. So you want to try to stick with Night Fae, the Carrion. And you're going to find that a lot of the same abilities they're going to recommend for both raiding and mythics. Because really, what's the big difference between the two? They're both PvE. Now, when it comes to PvP, I cannot find any information about certain traits from Covenants that will up your PvP play. So I still think it's going to be built more on PvE traits. And then the PvP side of things is going to come from getting versatility gear through PvP. I've always done that back in the day on my characters for PvP, like in the Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, so on and so forth. I would go through the skill tree and build my character like I would for like a raid, but yet it was the gear and the way that I gemmed and enchanted my gear for PvP. With some differences when it came to survivability and CC traits. So now for survival hunters, for Mythic Plus, they recommend Wild Spirits. Wild Spirits invokes the energy of wild spirits at the target location, dealing 25% of attack power, nature damage, and applies Hunter's Mark to all enemy targets within that area for 15 seconds. While the wild spirits are active, each damage and ability you or your pet uses against the target in the area will strike up to 5 nearby targets for 38.5% of attack power, which is nature damage. And it says right down here, this is a good AoE cooldown. And then we have this ability right here called Field of Blossoms. And this is active through your Night Fae. So if you pick Night Fae, this is one of the abilities that you're eventually going to get. That puts flowers at your feet for 10 seconds. That increases your haste by 12% while you stand within them. And then as we scroll down more, it's going to give the breakdown of all the abilities for all 4 covenants. And then here, a soulbind guide. So if you click on each one of these, it should give you that information. Now I just backspaced, or I should say back, and now we're back at the home page with the list of all the different classes. Now the next one we're going to look at is one of my favorites to play, and has been my main over the years, is Arms Warrior. So we're going to give that a look really quick. And it's going to give you again a breakdown. Now for Covenants, we want to pick on what's the best. And let's see what they recommend. Carian is amazing for both raids and mythics. Nicolord is poor and poor. Night Fae is good and good. And Veriton, or however you say that one, is amazing and good. So I think we want to pick amazing and amazing. So we're going to give Carian a look. So now all we have to do for this is just go down to that in the list. Carian's right here. And it's going to give us the Spear of Bastion. And this is going to throw a spear at the target's location, dealing 110% of attack power, which is going to be arcane damage instantly, and an additional 120% of attack power damage over 4 seconds. Deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. Enemies hit are tethered to Spear of Bastion's location for the duration. That's a real nice gap closer, say like in PvP. So if you're able to use this in PvP, which I'm not sure yet, this would be a great gap closer because it's got a 25-yard range. Imagine if they gave us a stun like that. Ooh, man. So by looking at this list, we see that it's not too overwhelming. And what I mean by that is that these covenants aren't going to give you 5 or 10 abilities that you have to worry about fitting on your hotbars and all that stuff. Basically, each one only gives you one main trait. So we could see right here on the top that we have this ability called Condemn. So let's see what this is all about. Which is going to cause a foe to suffer for their sins, causing 82.9% of attack power, at 93.3% of attack power, which is going to be shadow damage, only usable on enemies who are above 80% health or are below 20% health. The primary target is weakened, preventing 0.6 attack power, 2.0, whatever that means, and 1 point of versatility damage they would deal to you. But then we also see down here that they also have a second one called Door of Shadows. Went through the shadows, appearing at the target location. Now, I don't know if this is the one that works kind of like a teleport while you're in battle. It says the range is 35 yards, so I'm guessing that that's what this is. And now we're just going to go back, and now we're on the main page again with all the different classes, and this time we're going to pick one that's really funky. Let's see. Let's pick a healer. Let's take a look at a healer. Let's pick Holy Priest. Priest in Shadowlands is supposed to be godly, by the way. I know Shadow is. So let's give this a look. So if we come down here, we're going to look at something different now. We have an idea of how the Covenant list works. So now let's give a look at Conduits. Conduits is also going to be an additional trait system that is going to be implemented for Shadowlands. So let's click on that. And let's see if they say which one's the best, which one's good, and they do. So, we have the breakdown of what each one of these do, as we can see right here. And it's going to let you know, if it's good, what they recommend, what's weak, and things along that nature. This page is fantastic, loaded with information, definitely worth that bookmark. Now we're going to go back to the Holy Priest, and we're going to look at something else in this menu. Let's see, it says, let's look at talent builds. So I'm going to click on talent builds, and we're just going to go down a little bit more. And these are what they recommend are the best. So for level 15, it's Enlightenment. Level 25 is Angelic Feather. Level 30 is Cosmic Ripple. Level 35 is Censor. Level 40 is Prayer Circle. Level 45 is Benedict or Hollow. Or Halo. And then level 50 is Holy Word Salvation. Let's see what that does. So we're going to click on that. And let's see, this is going to heal all allies within 40 yards for 110% of spell power. And it applies Renew. Wow, that's pretty cool. And 2 stacks of Prayer of Mending to each one of them. The cooldown reduced by 30 seconds when you cast Holy Word, Serenity, and Holy Word Sacrifice. And it even gives a breakdown of what it does against target dummies. Value 2, radius 40 yards. This page is amazing. It's just packed with any kind of information you can possibly ask for in Shadowlands. So folks, that's basically it for today's video. I just wanted to put something together really quick to get it out there just in time for release today. So you guys have an idea and a great page you can rely on that's been just updated a few hours ago. So we know that the information is definitely very current, recent. And this really makes where picking your proper Covenant, Conduits, and all that pretty much mind-free. And again, I will put in the description panel of today's video the link to this great wowhead page. And until then, thanks for watching Wise Gamer. Feel free to sub up and ring that bell for more notifications and killer videos coming your way. Comment down below because as always we love to hear from you. And until then, you guys have yourself a great day and enjoy Shadowlands. Take care. Bye-bye.